Alright, so I just wanted to show for this rear seat delete, this is where I got the idea. I just Googled Porsche 944 rear seat delete. And came down to grassrootsmotorsports.com, this one right here. Homebrew rear seat delete, parcel shelf. So this is the website that I used for the inspiration. He gives kind of step-by-step directions. I did it a little different than he did. You know, I kind of took everything out. This was out of a 924, I think is what he said. But I did it pretty much the exact same way that he did it. So if you want, you can go through and look at this. He did some things with some tie downs and things like that. But this is the website that I used for my inspiration. So the following video is just basically this and how I went about and did everything in a little more detail than what he has here. So I hope you enjoy. All right, so here's one of the reasons that I'm doing this rear seat delete. If you look, the back seat was all nasty. I mean, this foam is just horrible. And the back seats themselves, I just threw them away. They were so bad. It was just awful. And nobody can use the back seat anyway. It's not really a functional seat, so I'd rather have some storage area. So the first thing that we have to do is we've got to get the padding off, and we have to get this carpeting off. So we will go ahead and start on that. Okay, so kind of the reason that I wanted to do this, first of all, that top bolt snapped. Second, I can't get this other one out. It spins and it won't come out, so I got to keep working on that. But you should hear him just crunching as I'm trying to get through them. So I'm going to try to save this carpet, you know, get it cleaned up and save it and reuse it. And hopefully I can. But I got to get these out because I got to get the carpet off to clean it. So I ended up just having to pull on it, and I ended up yanking the whole thing right out of the foam. So I'll have to cut that off because I can't get it through the hole. So, all right. Once again, now you can see why I wanted to get this off and clean up some of this rust too if I can. But I mean, that's just nasty. So I'll vacuum that off. I got this off. That screw's still in there. That's not coming out. So hopefully when I get to the other side, I can just cut that out. I don't know what I'll do as far as getting those little pieces back on, because once this bolt snapped off as well. That one tore through, that one snapped off. I mean, it was in bad shape. So we'll see. We'll see what I end up doing with it, but there it is. All right, I got it pulled off the back. I still got to knock down or pull out some of the staples, but you can see it's actually coming apart a little bit. So, and like even this corner, I mean, this whole chunk just came right out of that corner. So I might have to, I'm trying to save as much of the wood as I can as it peels off. So I might have to do a little bit of repair work on this. Because I mean, this is really flimsy. But we'll see what comes up. We'll go ahead and get the rest of the cover off. So there's the back cover off, and now we'll just start working on trying to get this foam off of here. I have no idea how I'm going to do this, but I'll just rip it off, I guess. But that's what the seat looks like. You can see it's so nasty. And I mean, I vacuumed a lot of crap out of it too. So I'm kind of glad I'm getting rid of this because it is bad. There it is with the foam ripped off. I still got to get the rest of the foam off. It's pretty sticky. But you can see this completely tore up with that when I was trying to take it off. It's just so water damaged. Now I don't think it really matters because this is the back. I'll probably put a piece of foam just on there just to kind of cover up these bolts and everything. So I'm not real worried about that so much because once again, this is not, you know, it's a delete seat. So, but I do want to get the rest of this foam off, so I'll have to figure out how to do that. Maybe just a wire brush or something like that to try to get it off as best I can and get it all cleaned up and get the rest off. And then we can go ahead and clean up the hardware. Maybe even spray paint them and make them look better. They still move, which is good. So, look at that. I mean, just freaking cobwebs in here still. But yeah, I'm not going to try to take them off because these bolts, there's no way these bolts are coming out. And I'm not going to ruin them trying to get them out. So I'll clean it on there and just spray paint them. But yeah, I can get those all cleaned up like that. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. That'll be the next step. All right, so I'm working on my rear seat delete. And I want to get this foam off, so I am just using my rubber wheel. See how easy that comes off? Now I'm not worried about this glue and stuff because I am going to put a little piece of foam, but I want to get the bigger things of foam off, so I'll go ahead and finish doing that. Here you go. Like 3 minutes with that rubber wheel and it's all gone. So that works. So what I'll do is I think I'm going to switch to a wire wheel and I'm going to work on these and especially these that are all rusty and then go ahead and just paint them and be done with them. I got to get this screw out. But yeah, I think that's what I'll work on next. All right, here we go, all cleaned up. So I put a little bit of rust converter on these parts before I paint them. And I still have to go through this and get the, the staples pounded down or out, one of the two. I forgot to do that and I just noticed I caught my finger on one, but I gotta let that stuff dry. Then I'll paint those so those look all nice and new. I'll foam it and then I'll cover it with the stuff that I'm getting. So I don't think I'm gonna worry about putting the wood back on. I'm half contemplating just taking it off. But it helps a little bit, I guess, with that. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we decide to do. But I'll put hinges here, here, and here, and that's what'll fold up the piece of wood that's going to be on the top back here. So I think that'll be it for today on this, and we'll see you later. Okay, so we're going to continue to work on this rear seat delete. The first thing I need to do is figure out how that goes back in. So, I don't know. I don't remember. So we'll have to figure that out. See where that goes. And then I'll cut out cardboard cutouts for these pieces of wood as templates. And then I can cut out the wood. Okay, so for the rear seat, there are 2 bolts that go right there and right there, and then the seat folds down.
So what I need to do, I think, is figure out how I want this to lay. And that will determine where my wood goes here. Now the wood goes right up here because that's right. It goes right up against that because that's where the hinges are. So it starts from the bottom edge of this and comes out. Because I put the hinges on here and then the piece of wood that I'm going, so I can fold that up and then that'll allow that to fold down still. So, okay. So we got to just find some cardboard and start trying to cut out templates. All right, so I'm just going to kind of go through what I've done so far to do my template. And this is just, it's measurements and it's kind of guessing and hoping I get the angle right. But what I did was I measured from here to here, which is pretty much straight out. Then I measured from here to here, which allows me to go straight across. And I measured from here to here to go in. So this was 7 inches, this was 10 inches, this was 2 inches. So now I've got my mark here, and I come out my 10 inches, that seems too far. I'll have to remeasure that. And then I go from here, or no, this was 10 inches. This was 7 or 4, something like that. I forgot what it was. I'll have to look. So I measured from here to here, from here to here, from here to here, from here to here, to give me my marks. So that's there to there, there to there, there to there, and there to there. And then I kind of guessed on the angle. So I'll cut that out and I can trim it as best I want. And just kind of use it as a template, and then I can bring it over to the wood and cut the wood out. But that's the plan. Okay, so there is the mock-up of the backseat delete. I think that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So the next thing really is just getting it out and transferring it to some, I'm just gonna make it out of plywood and see about getting the plywood in. Yeah, I just got to remember I want to leave this maybe a little bit longer, but because I can always just take more off the front as I need to get it trimmed down to exactly where I want. So what I'll do is I'll do the front piece first, and then I'll put the back piece in, and then I'll trim based on that. So success. We're gonna have some lunch. Well, that sucks. I had extra plywood downstairs I was hoping I'd be able to use, and I'm that short. So it looks like it's a trip to the store. So maybe I'll use something a little thicker too. I mean, this is pretty thin, but I would have used it if I could have. All right, so we've cleaned these up. These are the latches that, or not the latches, but the receiving unit for this part of the back seat. So I have got those all cleaned up and those have been painted. So next thing will be going and getting some more plywood and getting foam. The carpeting stuff is supposed to be here, I think, on Tuesday, so it'll be next week anyway, so there's no rush.
I actually have a golf tournament this weekend, so I won't be doing anything on the car tomorrow. But yeah, pretty good day though.
All right, so tonight's job is going to be getting the wood cut out. So I've got my pattern, got it drawn down on my wood, and we'll work on cutting it. So there it is. It's not done yet because it's at a little bit of an angle. So the front part has got to come down a little bit. It's just a little too high, which is fine. I mean, I'll just cut more off. It's not a big deal. But I think what I'll do is I will wait, get the hinges and everything on the top piece so I can see where it is. And I cut this top piece a little long as well, because really, actually, it's not going to sit flush with that. It's probably going to be somewhere around there. I wanted a little bit of a lip, but we'll have to see how that sits. So I might have to cut some off the front of the top as well. I left that long also. But that's the gist of it. And we got some padding coming. Wait till you see what I use for padding. And then some unbacked carpet coming, and we'll cover it and be done with the rear seat. I've got to put the hinges in, and I've got to put the tie downs and the brackets in still, but that's the general idea right there. All right, so a little bit of a conundrum. So since this is not on a hinge, when you put that down, it moves forward. So the bottom, I don't know if you can see the lines, is right here. When I put it down, it's right here. So if I put something on a hinge right here, and this goes down, this slides forward. That means that wood's got to be able to slide forward that much. Okay. That whole thing is going to have to slide. So I'm going to have to think about that as I put it in. But we'll go ahead and just try to put it in and mock it up a little bit here. So I was correct. When you put that back seat down, this needs to slide up. So that slides forward. So that really needs to be, and see how it slides back? So that really needs to be literally right on the edge of that. I need to trim the sides a little bit. These are a little bit too long still. Because you've got the door panels, you've got the carpet, you've got other things that are coming in. And then I need to clean up that corner over there a little bit as well. I mean, I'm not worried about it sitting perfectly flush, but I want to get it as close as I can, but it's already rubbing on that. Once the carpet goes in, there's no way that's going to fit. This should be fine over here, but this side is too close once you put the panels on the side and everything. I don't want them rubbing, and when you lift it up, so you can lift it up, but it's catching over there on that side. So just a little more work getting this cleaned up, get those sides cleaned up. I'm kind of happy with the height, actually, even though it is a little up, but I think it would be better if it's even. So I might take like a 1/4 inch. All right, so we've got the first bracket installed. So that's doing pretty good. Now I just want to see if I can get it from here to here. So I've got that I'll have to cut and form and bend. But we'll try to get that done. All right. And that piece is in. So that's pretty sturdy. I don't know, maybe put another bolt in there and just hold it a little bit better, but that piece is in. So that's pretty good. I think once that other side gets in, I think we'll be pretty good. All right, so I got my carpeting stuff in for the back seat. I forgot, I don't just have the wood panels in the back flip down seat to do. I've got to carpet all that. So I've ordered another one. I hope I'll have enough of it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out and put the side carpets in so I can mark where I have to carpet to, because I don't need to carpet all of this because some of that is covered by the side carpets. So I just need to know exactly where I need to cover, and then I can go ahead and cover that. But this I took off because this was leaning forward, and when I put the top on, the top was too short. It needs to be pulled. It needs to be pulled in as far as I can. So I actually need to put it on the third hole there, instead of the first one, which is not a big deal. It just pulls it in and it'll be fine. So I'll get this stuff taken out and get the carpet put in. Part of what else I have to do, and you saw this on the other video, or I talked about it, I'm cleaning up the seat belts. So I've cleaned the rust off of these, and I've coated them with the neutralizer. I'll go ahead and paint them. These don't look like they're, well, this one's in a little bad shape. Maybe I'll do that one and clean that one up. But I just kind of cleaned the seat belts up a little bit. They both work, so we will get that cleaned up and go from there. All right, so there's kind of the dry fit with the or the side moldings in and the carpet in. I got to take just a little bit off right there, and that side will fit perfect. They're both bolted in on the bottoms. I have not done the strapping for that one yet, but what I want to do is want to get the top and just kind of see if I fold up the top, is it going to hit this, or do I have it far enough away? So I don't know. So I'm going to have to get the top on and we'll see. All right, so just sitting this on here, I can see that I am going to have to take more off of this side, quite a bit more. And then I got to take some off of here, because if you look, you can see that it's not even, it's at an angle because I can't get back far enough because of this. This side looks pretty good back here, but I do need to take some off of here. So, and then I'll pull that back and there'll be a little bit of a lip. So hopefully that'll take care of that. That side's higher just because it's on top of that over there, but this is how it should sit. So I'm thinking I just mark right here and just take that much off of there. Mark here, take that much off of there, then these will be even. Take a little more off of here, and that'll slide back more. So yeah, cut it here, and then take a little more off of here, and that'll slide back and even up with that. I think that'll be good. So we'll do that. All right, so now I think I've got it. I mean, this is just a rough one, but I think that's pretty close. I'll have to get the back seat in and, you know, get everything done. But that's basically kind of how it's going to work. Once I get those hinges on. And it's not really hitting anything. I guess it does when it gets all the way up there, but you're really not going to be lifting it up that high, hopefully. But yeah. So I think what we can do is we can get the back piece in. I got to get the straps in. Get that tied down, but where the front is not really relevant right now. The next best thing to do would be to get the back on and get the hinges on to see exactly where it sits. So I think that's what the next step will be. So I'm looking at this and it's not level. And I'm like, oh, well, I got to take more off of here. But I don't know exactly where this is going to sit in the back once I get the hinges on. So, I mean, it could sit up there. I don't think it's going to sit that high. So I definitely need to get the back on and the hinges on for the top. And then I can really truly see how much I am going to need to take off, because then I can lift this up, get this straight, and measure from here to here and see how much of this I will have to take off, because this is not going to move up or down at all. This is the height that it is, but I can shave some off the top to make it lower so that sits flat. And I guess maybe the lower it is, the better it is when you're trying to get stuff in and out. It might even be better if it was on a little bit of an angle like this to try to get stuff in and out, instead of trying to lift up and over this whole piece of wood. But I think if we can get it even, that'll work. So yeah, the next thing is getting the back seat back on. Fortunately, that's going to have to wait until tomorrow, because I didn't think I was going to have to do anything with it. And I painted the bolts. So I can't do anything with those. Anyway, so I guess that'll be it for tonight. But it's getting closer. All right, so we got the first hinge on. Opens up and closes pretty good. Let's see how the level is. I think it's still up. Yep, it's still up high. So I think I need to take this out and trim that down. I'll have to find out how much I need to trim that down, though. I'll take a measurement and I'll find out exactly how much to take that down. All right, so we've got all three brackets on, hinges on. Opens up real nice, sits real nice, and then when this comes down, that'll slide forward. Sorry if you didn't see that. So I still have to shave this down a little bit. And I think once I bring that in, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some off of here also. Just because when it goes forward, it goes out pretty far. And I think it's going to interfere with the seatbelt. So I think I need to get it as close as I can. But I won't know that I won't know that until I get this bottom one pulled in on both sides. So we'll have to do that, and then I can trim under here, because you can see, I mean, that's too big of a lip. I don't need that much of a lip. So that'll be the next part. All right, so I took a little more off that front piece. Pretty close to level. I'm not going to worry about just that little bit. So the problem I ran into was my board, I think, is a little warped. So I've got some like rubber bike straps. So I think I'm going to try to take a bike strap and put it over there and pull this down and be able to secure this that way, is my thought process. And that way I know it's nice and secure. Should be fairly easy to open and close then too. You know, I'll attach the strap to the top, put a hook or something on the front. You can just pull it and hook it around to get it nice and tight. So I think that's what I'll do for that. So I think we can pull all of this out and start working on covering it. So I got some foam. It's just 1/2 inch little cheap foam. There's not much to it, but at least it's a little something. So I'll put that on, and then I'll cover it with the unbacked carpeting that I got, and we'll see how it looks. There is the first bit of foam. This is the top part. So these screws for the hinges were a little long, so I just made some extra pieces of wood and stuck them there so it would help cover up the screws. A little short on this side, but that's fine. I mean, this is just the side. Same here. It's just a little short, but that's okay. So we'll let that dry, and then we can carpet it. And now we will work on the front piece and the back piece as well. So I've got these rolls of foam. Probably going to need to get more adhesive now, but everything that I have left over, I might just throw down in there just to soften that up a little bit, but we'll see, because I mean, I can only get one thing out of each roll. So, yeah. All right, there's the second one done. So we just got to get the back seat out, and we'll foam. Here, I'm going to foam this and the top part here. And then that should be it for the foaming. We'll see what we have left, and we'll maybe foam the inside. All right, so the first one is covered. It's not too bad. So I glued the foam down, but I stapled the carpeting down, and it just seemed easier to do it that way, because then I could stretch it exactly how I wanted. So the only thing is these. This was the first one I did. And I thought, oh, I got to cut it all the way across. And then this happened. Then I realized just cutting out the actual parts to it should be good enough, because I can push that down so the pins should still get through it. So if you do this, don't cut all the way across the hinge. Just cut out a little slit and slide this over. And when you do, cut your slit up higher on this end. That way when you pull it, it stretches it a little bit more. So, but not too bad. Actually, it turned out pretty good. I mean, it's a little loose. And I guess if you glued it down, it would be better. But I mean, I'm happy with that. So hopefully, I've got this piece left over. Hopefully it's wide enough to do the front side. So we'll see. All right, there was enough material, just barely. As you can see, the bottom isn't quite as nice, but this is the bottom. So you're really not going to even see that when that sits like that. So I did get enough material. That came out pretty good as well. I'm pretty happy with how everything came out. So I still have the back seat to do. I still have that one to do. And I'll get that done. I've got more carpeting on the way. So I only ordered one because I was like, oh, I only have two to do, and then I forgot I've got that. So we'll have to wait till that comes in. But I know it'll work. This one is going to be a little trickier with the bolts and everything. So those bolts, they go through down here. So I'll have to poke holes or something in here to be able to get to them. But hopefully I can just make little slits or something. So you really won't even see them. It'll just cover it up. But yeah, I mean, so far so good. All right, the first job for today is going to be cleaning this carpet. This for the back seat, part of the back seat delete that I'm doing, but I'm still going to reuse this part of the carpet. And then also, I got some parts in. I got some of the bulbs for my gauges. So I got the right bulb, so I'm going to do that. I can see if this is hardened up enough, and we can trim that stuff off and work on that. But I think the first thing I'm going to do is the carpet, just because it'll sit out in the sun and can dry a little bit today. So we're going to work on that today. So one of the things that I noticed when I was doing everything for this delete was down at the bottom where it sits, and a little below it, the carpet didn't quite cover it. It doesn't quite cover it over that hump, kind of where I have that piece sitting. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just putting some of this black carpeting down over that little lip that I'm going to sit it on, and then down low enough that it'll actually cover. And then like the back carpet doesn't go far enough back to cover it also. So I'm going to put a little bit over that, and then same thing on the other side. I don't know if you could see the lines over there, but I drew lines where the carpeting ends. So I know, the carpeting that goes over the sides and down, where that ends. So I know where I need to bring this black carpeting at least to. So hopefully that will cover all that. And then you won't see any of the kill mat. All right, the foam padding is in. So I decided to go ahead and foam it, just to give it a little cushion when you throw something in there. So the next is to cover it. And I'm kind of realizing now that I'm not going to have enough of the carpet that I ordered that matches what the back seat delete is all done in. I had some other carpet that I ordered that isn't the same. I think what I'll do is I'll cover the inside with that, because that's more of a felt, and I think it'll be easier to curve around all of this stuff anyway. So I think it'll just make it a little bit easier to do that. So I think that's what we'll do, and we'll do that next. Well, that turned out pretty ugly. Thank God you're not going to see it. But I'm not going to redo it. Yeah, that did not go as planned. So, but it's hidden. So, here you go. All right, there we go. We got one side in. We got the seatbelt in. I think we're pretty good on that side. So we'll have to work on the other side. I already got the carpet down. All I did was actually use some double-sided tape just to kind of get it and hold it in place really well. And that's worked out pretty good so far. So we'll have to see how we do with the next section over here. So this I'm going to have to work on, because you can see how this is pulled away. It's old, it's warped. So I think I'm going to get some double-sided tape, maybe put it there and get some clamps and try to clamp and hold that down as best I can. And then get this, I might heat this up a little bit to make it a little more pliable, and then glue that down in place is what I think I'll do. So I think that'll be the solution for that. But yeah, I mean, it's been water damage, you can see. And these actually aren't even mine. These I got from somebody else, because mine were so bad I couldn't even use them. So I had to buy these used ones, and I mean, they're 10 times better than what mine were. But yep, we just got to get working on that side now. All right, second one is in and raring to go. You know, I mean, pretty happy. It's almost 40 years old, so looks pretty good. All right, so the first piece is in, and it is nice and secure. That's not going anywhere. I got my carpet, so I can finish that, and then get the rest of the back seat delete in, and we'll be done with that part. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you can see what I did. Just a bracket that's bolted down into the car. 4 screws holding that, and then 2 screws holding that. And then using the back seat belt. So nice and sturdy, not going anywhere. Very happy with that. And we'll work on getting the other thing covered. All right, so there is your rear seat delete. Came out pretty good. The only thing I would change is I might make this a little lower. It seems kind of high to me. But it'll be nice because you have a shelf to put something on, or lift it up, put stuff inside, and then if you need to, you can pull that down and still load stuff in from the back. So all in all, pretty happy with it. I did run into a problem with the pins for the hinges. I forgot to show it, but they're in. What I ended up having to do was I had originally put the back of the seat in, and then I was trying to get this in and trying to get the pins in the hinges, and it wouldn't work. So I ended up having to take the back part out, bring it over, take the pins and file the top part of the pins to make them a little more pointy. And that way it was just enough to get in to the other set of the hinge. And I was able to get them pushed through. But they were really, really, really tight. So, but it's all in. It all looks good. I'm very happy with it. It's not going anywhere. It's a little floppy, so here's the 2 things I have for that. Is I have these bike ones that I'm thinking maybe I'll put a bolt through there, pull it down, or I've got this. Take this out real quick. So where this would go on the top, and you pull this down, and that hooks into there. I just think that would be a lot more difficult to do than the bike ones. And I think if I do those, I'm going to have to pull up some of this carpet in the front, which isn't a big deal because it's just stapled down. And then put it through and then have it come down here and just buy a hook to pull it and hook it down on. So, and then I put the back carpet that I cleaned back on, and once again, I just stapled this to it. It looks pretty good. So I'm happy with that. You know, that carpet goes like that, and then this will go like this. You know, so not too bad. I got to get these up along the sides here, and get them Christmas treed in. I bought some other Christmas trees because who knows where those were. They weren't even with it when I bought it. So, but we'll do that part as well. And it looks like now the next thing we'll be getting the center console in. You guys have seen the whole dashboard and everything in already. So this was just the rear seat delete video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to take a shot at doing it, at least you can. And don't go by any of my measurements. You know, when I was saying, oh, I did 10 inches from here and 4 inches from there, don't bother. I did it, and they were completely and totally off. It wasn't even close. But I'm pretty happy. I mean, it's not too bad. Maybe a little far out from here, but that's okay. I mean, once again, I'm not a carpenter, and I think this side's a little bit closer, you know. But I think it came out really well, but I definitely would probably make that a little bit shorter because it does seem quite tall. But nice area just to stick some stuff and hide it if you don't want it, and it's nice and it's padded. So, and then, you know, this is padded as well. Back is, and so is this. Everything's padded and looks nice. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do as far as the tie down goes, but I did buy this also, just so now got a little cargo net back there. Not really going to tie this down because it's really not going to do any good to tie that down anywhere. I really don't need it. I just place pouch to put some stuff if need be. So, yeah, just got to get the tie down done, but that'll be it for this video. I'll show you guys whenever I get the tie down once I decide what I'm going to do.